So real quick, if you just want the meat and potatoes of how to create your own light leak, you need a light source, you need a lens, and you need a camera body. Detach the lens from the camera body and vary the light source from the camera body and vary your lens distance from the camera body as well. A light leak is created when light literally leaks onto the film or the sensor, creating a really awesome, colorful film distortion vibe. It's really cool, it's fresh, it's hip, and it's being used a lot right now. Welcome back to another thrilling adventure of Steady Focused. I'm your host, I'm your number one, Mr. Simeon Hendrix. In this episode, we're going to take a look at how to create your own free 4K light leaks. So what is a light leak? Well, quite literally, it's when light leaks into and onto your film or the sensor. So you've got your camera body right here, and then this is your lens. And so what happens is light comes in, instead of coming through the tip of your lens right here, it comes in through the side and it leaks in, and it creates a real unusual, interesting look. I've got the Panasonic GH4 right here. This is my lens, and I've just taken it off. If you do have the Panasonic GH4, you're going to want to go into your menu and then go down into the custom bar, and you want to turn it to shoot without lens on. Otherwise, it won't capture an image at all. If you have a T3i or a Canon or something like that, it'll be different. Just make sure that your camera is able to shoot with a lens off. You can shine lots of different types of light into your camera, but one way that gives you a really cool vibe is lighters or matches. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill these lights. That way I can capture total darkness except for the light that's coming in on my light leak. So as far as settings, what am I going to be using? I've got this set up shooting at 24 frames a second. And then I got my shutter speed set to 50, and then I'm going to put my ISO as low as it can go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record on my GH4. I'm going to have my light source is going to be right here from my match. I'm going to have my lens off right there, and then I'm just going to be ever so slightly just kind of manipulating, moving the lens a little bit, moving my match in a little bit, and it's just a lot of trial and error playing around like that. I'm using a match right here. You could use a lighter, you could use a flashlight, you could use a candle, and then further experiment and try shooting a flashlight through a green tinted cup or all kinds of things like that. It's experimenting. Different light sources are going to be different colors. The hotter the color, it's going to give you more of a blue color. And the cooler of the color, it's going to be a little more of an orangish. So keep that in mind. And then you can also play with your white balance, right? So see what it looks like on tungsten. See what it looks like on flash mode. See what it looks like on daylight. So that's how we create a light leak. Let's go into the computer and see how we can take this new footage and layer it on top of our existing footage to kick it up a notch and to make it fresh and hip and cool. Once we're here in Premiere, I've got two tracks set up. The top one is our light leak footage. The bottom one is just some regular footage that we want to kick up a notch. So you can see, if we're just going to kind of scrub through this timeline, we actually see what our light leak looks like. It's just kind of strange, but that's what it is. It just gives this kind of gritty, colorful interest to our shots. We've got that put right here. And then I'm going to turn that off just so you can kind of see this is our regular footage below it. And then guys, you just get in here and it's all about playing and having fun. I can just give you the tools and kind of the nuts and bolts of what you're going to need to adjust to get in here that's going to give you what you want. Opacity is something you're going to want to play with. You're going to play with the opacity of your light leak layer. You'll notice when I drop the opacity down and I just hit play, there you go. You start seeing some color, some fun, some things dropping on top of our regular footage. I'm going to turn the light leak off, and I'm just going to hit play,
and let you see what it looks like without it. So opacity, that's definitely something you can play with, and you should play with. You can also, and I do recommend playing with the blend mode, and that's going to, let me bump this opacity all the way up so you guys can really see what's happening here. When you drop the blend mode, that changes how the current clip that you're adjusting the blend mode, how it reacts to the footage that is below it, okay? So, like, for instance, you got it on color burn, you can see it's deep contrast right there. Or you drop it into an overlay, and it gives it that look. Or if we hit it to screen, it's very bright. Or click it to multiply, and multiply drops out all of your light colors but keeps all of the darks. So there you go. That's just an example of how that would look on top of some of our footage. Just give it a vibe. And then here we can play it back one more time with the light leak turned off. Just our regular footage here. And you can come in right here and you can see there it is playing on top of it. This is just a very quick example of how to implement the light leak once you shoot it. There's light leaks for purchase all over the internet. You can do that, or you guys can just make your own like we've done here today. Let me give you one more example. This is a real-world example of how I actually implemented a light leak into a project that we did. Do I want to save this? I'm just going to click no. This was a music video for a band called The Kept, and this is also some light leak footage that I created myself, and I was just layering it upon the stuff that we shot for them. So let me turn this footage off, the light leak, and I'm just going to play it through. You guys can kind of see how that looks right there. Really cool. And then I'm going to turn the light leak on, and then you guys can see the kind of the difference, the interest that comes on top of it. It is all about user preference. It's use it subtly at first and then build up. But do whatever you want, really, because it's all personal preference. Something else that you can do with your light leak, let me click it over to the color workspace, and I just want to give you an example. While you are in your editor, which I'm in Premiere right now, so let me just make sure I got my right track, and I do. Come over into the color and adjust the white balance, and you can adjust the white balance of your light leak, and then that's going to change the color. So if you're like, man, that's a little too yellow for me or a little more blue for me, you can adjust that. So if you shoot your light leak and it just raw right off the bat, it's like an orange color or a pink color, that can change, and it can be a blue, it can be a green, any of that. So you can do that naturally with the color of light that you're actually recording, the temperature of the light when you're actually shooting. Like we were talking about, you can shoot into colored glass or into colored film and record it that way, or you can adjust colors inside of Premiere. So there you go, guys. I hope this has been beneficial for you. I hope you understand a little better how you can create your own 4K light leaks. They're fun, they're interesting, they're the hot thing right now. So have some fun with it. And if you guys want to play around with some of these light leaks to experiment, just click in the link below, and I've got a download for you guys. It's free, and you can have a sample right there just to play around with. Guys, please, if you have found any value in this episode whatsoever, it will make my heart flutter. Like, share, subscribe, tell somebody about this, because Steady Focused is taking over the world, and it is directly tied into you and me. I love you guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you for giving your time. Let me know what you want to see covered in a new episode. Let me know what you want to see covered in an upcoming episode. Who do you want to see interviewed? What are you struggling with? What are topics you would like to see dissect? Big shout out to my partner at Hager Communications, Mr. Matt Hamilton. He's a huge fan of light leaks. He's got me pumped on him. And I said, man, Matt, we can make our own, dude. And so he was the inspiration for this episode, so I appreciate him. I appreciate my brother Scott. He's helping me with editing on the back end. And all you guys that are hitting me up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and an email, I appreciate it. Keep it coming, and I'm going to keep coming at you. Until next time, I'm your host, I'm your number one, Mr. Simeon Hendrix, and this is Steady Focused.